back. I shared some stuff with the team earlier, man, to where I remembered why I really don't dig too deep into politics. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a winner. I win no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter who sits in that White House. I'm gonna win regardless. Hey, we are live everywhere, YouTube, Facebook, and IG. Welcome to another episode of Technically Speaking, when we are giving you news
that you can use.
Yeah, man. So, how y'all doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing, Bobby?
I'm doing all right. Tell me what you did today, man. Tell me what you did.
Man, I was kind of telling Corey that because, you know, we're off for Veterans Day, and shout out to all the veterans out there. Happy Veterans Day.
Shout out to all the veterans.
We appreciate you because we are you.
I appreciate myself.
And I'm not a veteran, so I salute both of you guys.
Hey, appreciate that. Thank you for your service, Bobby.
Thank you for yours, sir.
Hey, I was just telling Corey earlier, man. Since I had the day off, Veterans Day, I got that infamous email. Hey, we want to buy your car back and give you a good trade-in value. So I spent way too much time at the car dealership, and I just left.
No.
I was like, yeah, I fell for the banana in the tailpipe.
That's a banana in the tailpipe.
So I mean, we were talking about leasing before we went live, man, and
so I could hear y'all, and I was over here waving my hands because I could see myself, but I was like, can they not see or hear me? I was having technical issues.
And I was like, hey, I think she was trying to get.
Yeah, I had to restart my whole computer. I can see on the task manager, there's all these tasks that Google Chrome was opening up in the background that I'm like, where are all these things coming from? I don't know what it was doing.
Are you using like a HP or a Lenovo?
A Dell. I was using a Lenovo before, but now I'm using a small Dell computer.
Dude,
it's fine.
But yeah, other than that, just chill, man. I did some yoga, did some meditating.
Nice.
Was doing my professional development videos, like that video I sent y'all. We'll get into it when we switch topics, but that's how my day was. How you spent your day, Bobby? Did you go get you some free food?
I do every year, but today was a little bit of a bust.
Yeah?
Yeah, because a couple of the restaurants that we typically go to, because San Antonio is military city, USA. It's not like we have 3 or 4 veterans because you're in a small town or nothing like that. So everything is packed. And now you have places where they're like, oh, we'll give you free food, but it's only from 11 to 2 and you have to come and sit down.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like that kind of limits what you can do and stuff. And I was real upset this year. In the last few years, Chili's always let you go in the to-go counter, get your burger, get your chicken tenders, whatever you're gonna get, and you're able to walk out. 5-10 minutes, you're on the road and back to whatever it is you're doing. And now today they were like, I'm so sorry, you have to sit inside. And I was like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bubba's 33 and Texas Roadhouse came through, though. They're always hooking you up with vouchers. They got signs out there with people waving flags and saying hi to the veterans.
Nice.
And that's like real love right there.
Yeah.
Shout out Texas Roadhouse and Bubba's 33 making it happen.
Hey. Oh, yeah. Hey, you know what? It's different when you live in a military-friendly city. Because, I mean, I live here in San Antonio, right? Before here, I lived in Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's like to ask which one is the most military-friendly, it's tough, man. Because, I mean, they make you feel like royalty out there in Fort Liberty now.
I was like at Fort Bragg. I know Fort Bragg is now Fort Liberty, but when I was at Fort Bragg, we didn't go off the I think I got off base one time in the 4 months I was there.
Matter of fact, shout out to everyone out there in Fayette now. Hey, 82nd Airborne all the way. Let's go.
2nd, 75th Ranger Regiment. Okay.
Hey.
Shout out to all of them.
All right.
What do you do, Corey, to help celebrate vets out there? So I know LA is not really a military-friendly city.
But, I have a bunch of friends like you guys are that's in the military. When I wake up in the morning, first of all, before I do my daily devotionals, or after I do my daily devotionals, I go on and I send some of my buddies a a shout out, wishing them happy Veterans Day. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for your service. I truly believe America is the country that it is because of the people like you guys. And
That's what's up.
And like I said, no shade to anybody else. I wouldn't want to live nowhere else. You know,
Hey,
even though,
facts.
you know what I'm saying? Even though some of the things happens, I mean, look, I would not want to be, and I visit other places, but ain't no place like home for real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear that.
Hey, you know what's funny? Because Corey was saying he has a lot of friends in the military, dude. Our class of '99, we had a lot of people join the military. Matter of fact, Amber Sean, she lives here in San Antonio. She came here when she retired the Army. She's actually gonna come on the show, yo. She's coming.
Hey, when's she coming on?
Army. I believe she's coming. Let me double check. Maybe next week. I'll double check with her.
Right.
Yeah. It's a few people. Matter of fact, we got a few. Rob, I think, from the Compton chapter of Beta Phi. Okay. One of the OGs. He's here. Not Chief Master. Sorry, Army Sergeant Major.
What is his? What was the line name? Do you remember?
I don't remember his line name, but his last name was White. Robert White, I believe was it. But he's out. There's a couple of folks out here, man.
Robert? No, you said Robert White.
Robert, yeah.
So he wasn't part of the 06 though, right?
I think he was. I think
he was 06.
Maybe not then. Maybe not. Yeah. He was out there in Compton, but no, yeah, we had a lot. I mean, we had people to join the Navy, Marine, Army. A few of us, actually, 3 of us came in the Air Force at the same time. Wesley and LaKendra, I came in with them. So yeah, it's shout out to Wesley and LaKendra out there doing y'all thing. Yeah. I know Wesley retired, so if you catch wind of this,
I don't think he retired. I think he well, maybe he retired.
I thought I saw him retired, man.
Because I remember
Ryan came in. He retired from the Army. He's out there at Fort Bliss area, El Paso, representing. Hey, Bobby, we had a lot of people in our class join the military.
I applied, dude. I tried.
It's a beauty that it's a good option. You don't got to get stuck. You know, militaries people use it as a way out.
Yeah, no, for real. I tried. They told me since I had asthma, I couldn't be able to. I couldn't know.
Yeah, asthma's a no-go.
Yeah.
Nah.
Asthma, scoliosis, flat foot, all that stuff.
Flat foot. I was like, I got these bad genes.
And someone once said the genes don't lie.
Genes
don't lie.
If they tight, they ain't right.
Hey, you know what? You brought up a good point, Bobby. Share real quick. What made you join the Army when you joined the Army?
I joined to prove to somebody that I could do something that they couldn't. They had a seizure in front of a Marine recruiter, and it was their dream to join the military. And when I was 15, I was dating a guy who was 19. Now I know that's a no-no. And he was extremely abusive to me, alcoholic. And I that's my middle finger to his face was me being to join the military. And March 23rd, 2007 was the last day he hit me. That's why I joined.
People join for the right reasons, and then I mean you've been protecting America ever since. I'm sorry, you've been protecting.
I joined for the wrong reasons, but I stayed for the right. Once I got there, I was like, yeah, boy, like there's a whole new Bobby that came back home, and you know, whole new Bobby. It wasn't the same Bobby that left, that's for sure.
I have a question, and you know, it just came upon me. So, if you get honorable discharge, are you still considered a veteran?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Technically, you're not a veteran until you get out, but even on active duty or even reserve guard, active guard, you still kind of get that title. I don't know what the hard rules are, but go ahead.
On the reserve side, when I went through basic training, I came back to my duty station, which was Fort Sam, Houston. I received a DD-214 when I got off of active duty, and I came back home. Now, my second DD-214 was when I went on a deployment on Title 10 orders, a federal deployment, and then when I came off of those orders, I received a second DD-214. So you can actually get a few of them within your reserve career based on how many deployments you do.
And what is a DD-214?
You got to explain that.
DD-214 is a basic Department of Defense document showcasing your service to the country. It outlines your medals, the time the time in service, what grade you were, kind of a little synopsis, I guess, of what you did while you were on active duty, the whatever duty station you were at, and everything. And so it's a record of time on active duty, and you need these things to prove your service in the military.
Especially when it's time to get your VA.
Especially, I was about to say, especially when it's time for those VA benefits to come in.
Keep it real. So shout out to all the veterans out there with them DD-214s getting them VA benefits, baby.
There you go. My stepfather, who passed away back in '98, he was a veteran, and my mother gets his benefits.
That's good. That's good, man. I mean, because she served too. You know, she was holding him down while he was protecting the country. So shout out to him. What branch was he in?
Army.
I did not know that. I did not know that, man.
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to go to the military, but I wanted to go to the Marines because I heard the Marines were like first down on the ground and stuff like that. I don't know.
One's in, last one's out is what they say, right,
First
Bob?
one's in, last one's out.
Shout out to the Marines. Oh yeah. Shoot, man, I actually come from an Army family. I
Me too.
did in the Air Force, but my dad was Army, my stepdad was Army, I had a sister that was in the Army, my grandfather was in the Army.
Wow.
I'm the only one that went Air Force. Actually, I got another brother that's in the Army. I'm the only Air Force one. I think
I'm third generation Army. So my grandfather served in World War II, and he's actually who I'm named after. My grandfather Bobby is who I'm named after.
Nice.
And then my mom is Army. My dad is Air Force, but he never talked about it with us. My mom does, and so my mom's a disabled veteran. And then my sister that you met last week, Samantha, who's a paralegal, she's been in the Army. I've been in almost 18 years, and she's been in, I think, 15 years.
Is she active or reserve?
No, she's a GS, so she's reserve.
Reserve? Okay.
Yeah.
What's up?
So, Bobby, are you reserved as well, or are you active?
Yes. No, reserves.
Okay.
It's funny because I just learned. She just taught me something about the reserve because I was active duty. So there's like differences. I didn't know that you get a DD-214 like that when you come.
A lot of reservists and National Guard can get several based on how many deployments they've been on.
Wow.
No, I almost went reserve, but I ended up staying active duty. And the reason why I joined Bobby when I joined the Air Force, I was actually going to join the Army. You know who talked me out of joining the Army, Corey?
Who?
It was Wesley. It was Wesley through the first.
Wesley is an airman, right? Or
Air Force. Yep.
Yeah.
He was a crew chief. When he came in,
Man, I wish somebody would have talked me out of joining the Army. I didn't know any better, and I never saw a single Air Force recruiter. Like, that wasn't even in the cards. It was either Army or Marines for me.
We didn't see him either. That was so the reason why he talked me out of going Army. I actually swore in the first time for the Army. And because Wesley used to cut all of our hair, he was cutting my hair one time, and he already had his date to go. It was delayed entry date, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And he was like, yup. And he was asking me, he was like, why are you going Army? I'm like, I'm just go Army, man. Why not? You know what I mean? I was really trying to go to get money for educations. I didn't want to take no student loans, which I ended up getting student loans anyway. And that's a whole
that's another episode.
People join the military for like free college is just a big ass scam. It is such a scam, man.
Man, but I mean, so long story short, he talked me into it. Like the way he kind of laid it out, and no shade to any other branch or any other branch recruiters, but the way he got me intrigued was he was like, think about it. How come you never see an Air Force recruiter at our school? And that's what did it. Because I was like, yeah, you see Army, you see Navy, you see Marines all the time at the school, but never an Air Force recruiter. And we were like, what they think? They better than us? Oh, hell no. So I went to the one right there in Hawthorne, California. And I'll never forget, this dude was so like laid back, had his degrees and certifications behind him on the wall. He was like, man, how can I help you? And I'm like, it's like, yeah, man, I want to look into your reserve program. He was like, no, you don't. I'm like, how you gonna tell me what I want? I don't even remember what he said, to be honest. But by the time he was done talking, I'm like, well, sign me up, I'll go. I think I went in there in May. I was going in August. That's how good that dude was, man.
I went in March 23rd, 2007, and I was already in basic April 22nd. So little less than a month, and I was already gone.
Yup.
Yeah, man.
Yup.
I was scared though, because it takes a big leap of faith to join the military. Isn't no small act. You leave behind your family. You're going into the unknown. You don't know anybody. You're just praying to God you show up in the right place, and it's scary. The unknown part of it is very scary. But once you get your footing, it's okay. But that initial part of
I think that's with anything, but the military is totally different because of the fact that you're at a pivotal part of your life where you're fresh out of high school. You're legally responsible for yourself.
Most of us are just kids.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why because like up until I turned 18, I was paranoid. I was like, I can literally go to jail. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking like, I'm not a bad person, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I knew I had flaws. And I was like, in order to fix this, I need to find a way, because it wasn't getting fixed at home. If it was going to get fixed, it would have been done. So that's what really made me want to go to the military. And then I didn't get to the military. I was like, because of the fact that I was flat-footed and had asthma, I was like, I got to find a job, because I know the streets is calling.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? I lived in the hood. Like, you know what I'm saying? My barber who cut my hair, he was telling me not to go, not join the gang. But you know what I'm saying? It was so enticing. It's like, what am I going to do? So I ended up getting a job, and I had a job in the middle of high school. And I was like, okay, when I get out of high school, I'm going to go be some kind of rapper or something. But then I was like, in real life, I don't know what I was going to do. I just didn't want to continue working at the Rib Nest. My auntie got me a job at the post office. I was like, okay, but then I ended up backing back and going to the Rib Nest because I had a stupid accident being careless on the streets of Crenshaw, which that's another story. However,
I want to hear that story.
Oh, Crenshaw.
Hey, Geronimo, let Janair tell you. He tell you everything. Well, or let Darnell tell you, because everybody knew when I was on Crenshaw, I shouldn't have been on Crenshaw.
Darnell's another one of our veteran brothers.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a lot of people in the military. Yeah, anyway, to Bobby's point, it is different, man. But I will say, the biggest thing for me, man, was I learned perspective, because I little young idiot kid, man, coming in, I thought the whole universe revolved around LA. You know how it is, Corey.
Yeah,
I was like, I came in like, I'm from LA, man. Like, it humbled you real quick when you in basic training with people from Chicago, New York, and Miami, and all these other cities and stuff like that. So it gets you humble. But I mean, you learn friends, you learn different cultures, learn different perspectives, man. That's the biggest thing for me, man. Aside for, I mean, I finally got that school. It took me 16 years to get a 4-year degree, kind of like Eric Thomas said, right? And then after that, I went ahead and got that master's real quick. So it paid for it. You know what I mean? Right. I finally got the education I went for. But I learned a lot, man. It grew my horizons, right? It showed me new horizons. It grew my perspectives. It widened my aperture. I think that's the biggest thing. And then I made a lot of friends around the world, man. Like, one good thing about, I would say, the military is any state in a few different countries, I know someone there. So if I'm going somewhere, I'm gonna hit them up like, boom, boom. Hey, you still there? Hey, I come through. Like, I got friends in Wyoming. Their bases out there, right? Just why not go out there when I'm in Wyoming? Hit up one of my friends that's maybe retired out there. I got friends in Alaska that's doing real estate out there. That's one of the things that came with the military. So I appreciate what I got from it, and shout out to everyone out there that's still serving, and shout out to everyone that has ever served. Thank you for keeping us free, man.
Yeah. And thank you for your service, because you guys are risking your lives on the line. So.
Yeah, and we know. We not just saying it to say it. We know what it feels like to be deployed, be alone, and you ain't got nothing but sand and thoughts.
Missing your kids' birthdays. I missed my daughter's first birthday because I was on a deployment, and even though she doesn't remember, I remember. And so, like, those are, you know, the sacrifice doesn't come from somebody losing your life, because you know what you sign up for. The sacrifice comes in that time lost away from your family, you know, not being able to be there for birthdays, for my husband's wedding anniversary, none of that stuff, you know.
Yeah, you sacrifice, man. Just think of that when a lot of stuff, man, most people take for granted, man. We sacrifice that so you can't take it for granted. So when think of that.
You were absolutely correct when you said that whenever you join, it'll humble you real freaking quick.
Yeah.
Really quick. When you begin to hear other people's stories of why they joined, I'm like, don't even listen to me getting abused for the last 3 years. Like, that's like mad respect that you stepped into these shoes and stuff. So I went to basic with a guy, his name was Yermakov, and he was a Russian dude. And he was he's kind of silly looking, a little lanky. There's just a different culture than us, not your typical person. And when I got to talking to him one day, I was like, well, why did you join? This was often, you know, a conversation that we had with one another. And he said, well, like in his heavy Russian accent, he was telling me that he was in New York the day that towers went down, and he watched it happen. Like, he was physically there and wanted to be part of, you know, part of the powers that were going to go into fight against these people to prevent that from happening.
That's
again.
What's up.
So
yeah, that's what's
I was
up.
like, mad respect. Yeah, you're not even from this country, and yet you're here to fight for this country. Like, that's huge.
What was his name?
Yermakov.
Yermakov. Shout out to you, brother, and thank you for your service. One last thing before we switch topics. I was in when 9/11 happened. I watched it from my dorm room at Vandenberg. It was Air Force Base at the time. It's Vandenberg Space Force Base now. Hey, we were ready. Like, I remember when that went down, I grabbed my deployment bag and we got called in anyway. I was ready to go. Like, let's go. That was remember, that was the one time I remember the country being united. Unfortunately, it took that tragedy, and that's when everybody was waving that American flag, man. So and then, you know what, I think that's a good point to switch topics about waving that American flag. I really hope that your boy Donald Trump could get us to that new phase of everyone coming together and waving that damn American flag. Can he do it? That's my question. We talking about the election now. We switching topics, and Bobby, I'm gonna let you get us going on that one.
Sure. I just watched a video of him during one of his speeches where he had said, you know, we're not just that he's wanting to see the unification of not just white Americans, of Black Americans, Asian Americans, other minorities coming together. He said, because we all bleed the same blood. All of us do. And coming together to see the country not just be protected, but see Americans being taken care of and being able to kind of step forth. I hope the same thing. I hope that we can come together and stop dividing one another by race, by religion, by political affiliation. Because at the end of the day, none of that matters. Because God knows that if the United States was attacked like it was on 9/11, like, nobody would give a damn what political affiliation are you. You're willing to fight? Cool. Then come on in.
Excellent point.
Come on in. You know, we all want to see that. We all want to see the beauty of brothers and sisters coming together and for uniting for the love of country. We all want to see that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, definitely. We got some comments over here on IG too from Dr. Cool. He said, don't forget about the firefighters, paramedics, and even cop vets. They may not be military, but they serve too. Yes, they do.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Shout out to them too.
Say what now?
You know what? That's hard. I don't know if I could ever be a cop. Like, cops doing stuff for the community. I'm like, I don't know if I can just pull up on a scene where somebody just got murdered, them and their kids or something like that. I would lose it. I'm gonna stay in the military.
It takes a special being. I've shared some stories of one of my friends who I was stationed with up at Travis Air Force Base. He got out to be a cop, and he's a cop at Vallejo PD. He not just at a cop at any city. Like, Vallejo ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. So he lives for it. This dude wanted to show me a body that was unalived. He's like, you want to see it? I'm like, no, dude, I don't like.
Come on, we're gonna share this trauma together.
Yeah, nah.
It ain't trauma to him.
It ain't to him, man. He told me stories, man, on he was on patrol one night, and he saw Perk, and he basically chased him down, and when he had to tackle him, a gun came out. Like, it gets real.
Yeah.
It gets real quick.
real quick, it takes a special being. So again, shout out to all firefighters, cops, paramedics, anyone that's out there doing public service. Hey, thank you for your service.
Hey, shout out to the post office people too, man, because they got to deliver mail. And real talk, and just keeping it 100, 1,000. Sometimes it is not easy for them to deliver mail to people, especially in the times that we're in when people are looking to get their check. And they check back in the day. I remember people was like it was bad.
I need my
check. My brother been a postal worker for I say about 24, 25 years. And like walking the streets, he done been big. He done been he hasn't got nothing stole from him. Like, you know what I'm saying, mail stole from him, but he's suffered a lot. I'm like,
shout out. Hey, you know what? Good point. Shout out to the postal workers. We got a mutual brother, Oso, out there doing his postal work. So shout out
Anthony.
to y'all. And I didn't know Anthony. Hey, shout out to all the postal workers out there. Thank you. Because I know I need my mail, dog.
I need my mail.
I need my Amazon Prime packages. That's real.
Yeah. Amazon deliver on Sunday because of the post office. So
yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, much love to them. Let's get back to the election, man. Because I know what I saw, man.
Go ahead.
For me, right, as an independent, it's been very entertaining. Like I've been seeing people breaking down, they all depressed and boo-hooing, and some people they partying like it's 1999. Like
I saw a woman yesterday talking about I'm standing up for women's rights, and she's over there shaving her head completely bald, and I'm like, what are you doing? That's just too much.
Let me tell you something. Let me just
speak on it, brother. Speak on it.
I'm a person who did not like the outcome, and I respect the outcome. Did I like it? No. Do I have my opinions on how I feel about certain things after all this other stuff is starting to come out? And I'm like, you know what? We have to have a good, we have to have an evil. Not calling nobody good or evil. I'm just saying we have to have it. If we had everything the way we wanted it, then there's no point of us being in existence.
Good point. We'll be in utopia.
You know what I'm saying? And I say this, it's like for those who didn't win, which is, I would say, the side that I'm independent, but I did want Kamala to win. Then there's certain things that I need to do for myself to get myself in order, so I can be able to be aware of things. Right? I'm not saying I'm gonna go jump into the political ring and try to become president. No, that's not what I'm saying. However, what I am saying is I need to be more aware of things because of the fact that I think I didn't do myself. I was alert of the topics and all these things, but I just really feel like, you know what I'm saying? The media made Trump to be a monster, but some of that stuff is like I shouldn't allowed it to have that much energy over.
I'm there with you. I'm there with you. And to your point, I think that's where Kamala's team went wrong. Because I feel like they spent so much time attacking Trump, where I think what was happening was you was getting people to kind of empathize with him because you came off like haters, right? If you come off as a hater, I think you get the opposite effect of what you're looking for, right? I don't think it was hate. I think this was an emotional election. This was an emotional election. It was very passionate, and there's people who were very passionate about one thing, and there's people passionate about other things. And the thing about it, passion drives action, right? 100%.
And emotions make decisions, and data drives decisions. We all agree to all that. So people went out there and they put their passion into action. They put their emotions into motion.
And I think to your point, Donald Trump was more effective at tapping into that passion.
Yeah.
Right or like wrong, whatever.
You had people who did not on the Democratic side, the people who there was people that were like, I'm not voting because my vote don't count. I'm like, well, if you don't vote, then you're just silencing your voice. So you can't be happy with what the outcome comes out, regardless of if Kamala won or Donald won. You know what I'm saying? But what I did not like, I believe that people who was for Donald, when he won, gave them permission to act foolish. And those foolish things did not just hurt Black people. They hurt Hispanic people. They hurt white people. They hurt all people, because text messages being sent out to people of color, of all colors.
Educate us.
Wait, so do you think that has something to do with Trump versus that being like an actual third party issue? I think.
Well, here's the thing: we don't
explain what's going on, just for those that might not know, or that
there's text messages that's being sent out to Black kids, Black students, and Black Americans. Some has also been sent out to brown Americans, but they're saying report to plantations. You don't send that out to somebody who is emotional about either one, their first time voting, and very emotional, because like I said, this was an emotional election.
Mm-hmm.
People were very emotional when they went out there, especially the people who seen what the media gave. What the media made of Donald Trump. Some part of the media made him look like a victory. I mean, look like he's just the best person. Some part of the media made him look like a villain. I'm not saying that he's either one or the other, but when you are the person that looked at him as a villain, you take that L because your first time voting, you lost.
Mm-hmm.
A loss is a loss. It happens. But then you get a text message, a random text message, and saying that you're, you know what I'm saying, report to plantation. And these are people who got their names, their information, their data.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and
to Bobby's point, because we talked about this offline, right?
We don't know who it came from.
We don't know who it came from, and I suspect it's an adversary. That was my first thought was, I can see Russia, Iran, North Korea doing something like this to get this reaction, right? To get us to be like, oh, it's those Trump supporters again. We don't know that. I mean, I think
that's a cop out. I think that's a cop out. Like, we don't like to say just because Trump won the election to assume that him or his campaign would somehow be a part of that type of racist rhetoric. I really think that's jumping the gun. When I first saw this, I was like, oh, this has to be an adversary, somebody outside of the country, a third party who's trying to push division in the country. And obviously that's an ugly way of doing things, but we all know those that's what they do.
That's what they do.
A country that's divided, like a house divided cannot stand.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want America to fall, you're going to push those stupid, things into the, you're going to target certain people who they know are going to be like, oh, see, I knew this or I knew that, when really we don't know. I was just looking right now to see, like, the FBI is supposed to be investigating it. They're aware of what's happening, but they still don't have like a direct path to how these got done. And unfortunately, there's so many things that this could be tied to a server in the middle of nowhere.
That's my suspicion. Let me ask you this, Bobby. Where could an adversary get all the information they need so they know who to target? Would you mind sharing that?
So people who are registered to vote, that's public data. And unfortunately, people can go onto people's Facebooks, like your digital footprint. We've talked about this in other episodes. Your digital footprint is so huge. You don't realize how much data you give about yourself on the internet by your searches. Unfortunately, we have our artificial intelligence tied into our daily digital activities. There's algorithms built around certain people. I imagine somewhere there's a server sitting with people's profiles. There's a profile that says Bobby Lopez, and you know exactly how many kids I have. You know exactly. It's scary if you think about it. You know how many kids I have. You know how I vote. You know who all my friends are. You know who my family is and stuff. And so there's a digital profile of every single one of us. And so, and that includes our phone numbers. That includes emails. And so there could have been an automated, algorithm somewhere that said, okay, because I identify as a Black American, as African American, you can automatically set something up to where the day after the election, all of a sudden, all these racist text messages hit. You know what I mean?
Like a drip campaign. It's like you got like a MailChimp or something. You just automated, like you said.
You just automate it. Yeah.
TikTok, Facebook, all those platforms, right? Because I sit back and watch. You never hear me or see me post anything about politics for that reason. I don't want to self-identify to those hackers, right? But for those that did, I mean, the adversaries were watching. They were taking notes, right, and setting those profiles, like you said, and they could set up their drip camp, like a marketing campaign, basically.
Marketing campaign.
So, yeah, I honestly, man, I'm gonna give Americans the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
I would encourage people to just completely, delete them, block the number for wherever it came from, and don't pay no mind to it, because we've got great things, focused on the future for our families and stuff, and everybody's focus should be to kind of take care of their families themselves. Because you can't control who's sending you what text messages, but you can control how you react to those text messages. So let's not jump the gun.
And I agree with that, and I'm not taking anything away from that. You guys are saying some great stuff. What I'm saying is, how is a person to react when they see that and they get it for the first time?
Well, what I'm gonna say is they need to be subscribed here. So tap that like and subscribe button, because we're the ones breaking it down, man. Like, I'm sorry for the shameless plug, but I feel like that was
no. I'm glad you did that, because the fact that outlets like us that keep it very, very, very neutral. It's not biased, because clearly Bobby supports Trump and I supported Kamala, and nothing's wrong with that.
And I still love you at the end of the day. I got no hate for you, brother. I got no hate for you.
and I think that's what we need. What I believe our country needs to see.
Yeah, 100%.
You understand? Because I'm glad the FBI got involved with it, because of the fact that, I mean, though that's hurtful. It's harmful.
It is. It is.
I even said, whenever they find the person, if they happen to be here in the United States, they need to have the book thrown at them, because that's just causing so much division. There ain't no reason for that. If they're breaking the law, which they probably are, throw their butts in jail where they belong.
Yeah. And one thing I do want to point out about the show, you do have the benefit of electromagnetic warfare specialist here, Bobby, a cybersecurity specialist here, right? To where we're kind of giving you the game, because we know things.
Exactly. You guys know.
Listen, there's always there's hacktivists out there. That's an activist who know how to hack into systems for some sort of political gain. Oftentimes, when they're emotional and passionate about a certain topic, and they go to their menaces. And you got to be careful what you post out there. We've talked about that before. Make sure your digital footprint is tiny. Just like Jerome said, keep it tiny, keep it limited. Because there's always an enemy watching. The enemies never sleep. They never sleep.
Never. Psychological warfare. You said it before.
It's
magnetic warfare, psychological warfare.
Happening.
Yeah, man. Be careful what you putting out there on your social media, man. You gave them all the information they use to start this campaign to turn us against each other, because
they don't need a consent form. They don't need. You gave them consent once you started putting your info out there. Stay vigilant.
Most things you were sharing and feeling, Corey, is exactly what they were looking for. Yeah. And for anyone else that sees this, that's what they're expecting to happen. They're expecting you. I mean, to your point, right? The media, some media, and I can't help but to call out the Kamala campaign. They were saying some of those things too that align with the media. That if I'm the ops, right, I'm looking at, look, what are they saying? Okay, they said he's evil. He's the next Nazi and stuff, Hitler and all of that stuff.
Say that on YouTube.
Say what now?
I think we can't say that on YouTube.
Well, it's that we'll cut it out on the replay. But I mean, I can see how the adversary can take that and then use it against us. You know what I'm saying? And just keep the hate going. That was my whole thing that I noticed, was there was so much division, and we got to be careful, man. Like, hey, vote for who you vote for, but we need to come to a happy medium. And at the end of the day, man, it's America. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we can't.
You heard what I said in the beginning. There's no other place I would want to live in. You know what I'm saying? Whether good or bad, whether my guy won or my girl won, there's no other place where I want to live in.
Good for you, Corey. It's good to have that attitude, my friend. I think at the end of the day, you may not realize it now, but I think we've all won, but we just haven't seen it yet. We all won. in a way.
Well, and for me, right, and again, I got to go back. I shared some stuff with the team earlier, man, to where I remembered why I really don't dig too deep in politics, because I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a winner. I win no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter who sits in that White House. I'm gonna win regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the mentality I've always had. I was good when Obama was in. I was good when Trump was in. I was good when Biden is in. I'm gonna be good when Trump is in again. Whoever the next few presidents are, I'm gonna be good because I hustle.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And based off of my, you know, and Bobby knows this as well.
I was about to say, go ahead and say it, Corey. Go ahead and say it.
Based off of my faith, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter who's in office and who sits on the throne. And that's
same here. Same here, man. Based on what I believe in, I control my own narrative. You know what I mean? Now, whoever's in that office might push out some policies that might give a little bump, maybe. But no matter what, I'm good, man. No one's coming to save us. We got to save ourselves, man.
Save ourselves.
Save ourselves. But hey, he got it. We'll see. You know, hopefully he does a good job. But I will say, my lesson from all of this, and thank you because y'all pulled me into this whole political thing. I didn't want to get in it.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, brother.
I will say, I need to do a better job paying attention to more of the local politics.
Yes.
I dug so deep into all the federal stuff. I still can't tell you what's going on locally.
I can tell you what happened with Prop 6. So Prop 6 did not pass, and then Prop 6 was about it was pretty much saying like,
wait, I actually read that.
Yeah.
That was the one about the was it the crimes not being prosecuted for so much money, you could steal so much? Is that right? Nah,
that's different. This one is about involuntary slavery. So
okay, I didn't know about that. Well, tell us about
not
that.
Involuntary. It's pretty much it didn't pass where, like, if a, say for instance, a criminal.
These are local propositions. This is local to probably the Los Angeles area.
If they went and, you know what I'm saying, they committed a crime and they go to jail, and you know they have to work on their sentence while they're there, right? So they don't have the right, because I put it in Google chat, give it to me in layman terms. They don't have the right to refuse to do the work. Like if they say, hey, go clean the lobby or clean the kitchen, they say, I don't want to clean the kitchen. No, you have to, because based off of you're being an inmate, you have to do these certain things. So and it went so far of, and that's the reason why you got to be careful with ChatGPT. You're saying like it's like sort of like a involuntary slavery. I believe that's the way it was put, where it's you're in there, you pretty much working for 15 cents an hour to do a job that you may not want to do, but you committed the crime. You got to do the time.
I think forcing people to do labor and stuff for committing a crime is one thing. When you begin to start asking people to do inhumane things, I think that's where I kind of draw the line. I'm like, inmate or not, like let's not do that. When you begin to like really push onto people's moral or biblical obligations and stuff like that, then it kind of becomes a line I wouldn't want to cross. There's a gray area there. So I don't think I could support that either.
We got a comment from Creative Native on IG too. He said, workforce in prison isn't slavery. You do the crime, you do the time. Debt is owed to society.
I agree.
And hey, we backed that up last one when we were talking about the 13th Amendment.
Yeah.
The 13th Amendment, baby. It's in there. It's gonna put you in servitude if you get charged of a crime, man. If you don't want that, don't do the crime, man. Don't do it. So again, and that wraps up. Hey, shout out to Donald Trump. He's up. Donald Trump is up like Donald Trump, huh? He in there.
He won by a lot. Not a little bit, by a lot.
Not even a little bit. Not even it was the red wave. The red wave.
There was no red wave. It was a straight up tsunami. Did you see the picture of the United States? There's not one blue
I'm
state.
glad you brought that up. Hey, that map was saying soup. Woo.
Oops.
Corey know what's up.
And you know what, Corey? Why don't you take us into the next topic, my friend?
Next topic we going into, you know what I'm saying? Because we got to be respectful to the fourth host, which is our.
Talk to us about Beyonce, my friend.
Beyonce, 99 nods, and the Grammy is 1.
Hey, I see
shout out
what
to
you
Beyonce.
did there.
Good job.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Look, Cowboy Carter up for 11 well, Beyonce is up for 11 nominations. And I truly believe she's gonna walk away probably with about 4, maybe 5. But she got some heavy hitters up there. And I'm not going through the nominations. Y'all can look at it and see. But I do want to say one thing about Beyonce. She is a hard worker. She's a mother. And I mean, some people say that she's tapped into the dark demonic. I don't know. That's not none of my business to know. You know what I'm saying? If she is, I pray for her. But in the same breath, the girl is an example of hard work. And you can't not be,
Gets it in, man.
You know what I'm saying? For somebody who, like, if you look at what she did, her last tour, right? She toured all around the world, and she gave an exceptional show. And she even had her daughter on stage with her. And I'm not sure if that's her daughter's area of where she wants to go in her career. But the thing about it is, she's Beyonce, so she's opened up the avenue for her daughter.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Just like LeBron opened up the avenue for his son to play professional ball, there's nothing wrong with that. I believe that the fact is, before we leave this earth, we're supposed to set our children up and have them be able to have options, more options than we gave ourselves or that we had for ourselves. So, you know what I'm saying? Salute to Beyonce for, you know what I'm saying, going to work. Because guess what? If Beyonce worked at McDonald's, she probably would be the owner of that McDonald's franchise she worked at. If she worked at the post office, she probably would have been the postmaster. If she worked at T-Mobile, she probably would have been the CFO, if not the CEO. The reason being because the fact is we recognize hard work. And when you recognize hard work, it's going to get a bright light. Michael Jordan, back in the day, hard work. Kobe Bryant, back in the day, hard work. LeBron James, current day, hard work. That's the reason why they get those greatest of all times titles, because of the fact of what? Hard work.
Hard work, baby.
The stuff they do, the sacrifices they make, the things that they do, and the access that they have. Because when you get access, now some of us don't get access because our work isn't hard enough. But when you get there and get that access,
good point.
You use that access to get you to become better, because every level there's another level of access you can get, and when you get that access, you learn how to use it for the best of your ability. So shout out to everybody who work hard, because when I worked at T-Mobile, the 20 years that I worked in, I had several plaques, and it wasn't because of the fact that I sold customers good work. It's because of the fact that when I got to a certain level, I got access.
Good point.
I sacrificed some lunch breaks. I went above and beyond. Sometimes my day started at 7:30 and then into 9:30. And I was a salary employee, not an hourly. But the thing about it was, you get what you put in, and then the hard work will grow into something beautiful. But keep working. Beyonce been a musician. Been a singer, songwriter, singer for like 25 years, I believe. 1999 when No came out, because I remember watching
even before that.
Yeah.
At least 97, 98?
97, 98. But the thing, hard work. Yeah. Hard work, man. Hard work leaves clues.
Success leaves clues, baby. Success leaves clues. Hey, man, you gotta. Hey, we said it before. Brand like Beyonce, man. Hey, come on now. We said it before. She gets a shout out to her. So you said she has a total of 99 nominations for the Grammys?
Total, all together.
Ooh, and 11 on the next one coming up.
Yeah. That's for this one.
The 11 for this next one coming up, right?
Yeah.
Hey, that's what's up. Shout out to her, man. Hey.
But another shout out. We gotta throw it back to Kendrick Lamar. I know. I just gotta say, they not like us.
They not like us.
5 total Grammy nominations. Brother Man didn't even put out an album, but if he did, he probably would have had a total of 11.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So wait a minute. He got 5 nominations for a diss song?
Well, 4 nominations for a diss song. 1 nomination for another diss song. So the one he featured on with Metro Boomin and
that. If
like
you like that, yeah. Hey,
and
let
then,
me tell you something real quick, man. Because when that song came out, Not Like Us, I already knew it, right?
yeah.
For songwriters, right? For those of us that's written songs, performed, we study the craft, right? Some of the folks that I work with, when I first heard it, that A minor, I already knew what it was gonna be as a writer, as a performer, right? Call response, right? Like for example, right? If I say you down with OPP,
yeah, you know me.
that's his version of you down with OPP.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like it would never get old. Anytime you at the club and when he says trying to strike a chord and it's probably
A minor.
Dude, that would never go away. That would never. Ever. It's just like that's his version of when Too Short says, "What's my favorite word?"
Yeah. Why you gotta say it like Short?
It ain't never going away, man. I saw that, but you know, folks that haven't really been deep into the music like we are, man. I didn't think they got it, and then when it shot to the top, I'm like, that's it. That was genius the way he put that together, man.
Funny thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna spend too much time on this, but if I do, forgive me.
It's all good.
Kendrick Lamar.
We're trying to respect that fourth host as much as possible, but go ahead.
Kendrick Lamar and Drake, you know what I'm saying? Drake was known for having a beef with Meek Mill, and he put out the song Back to Back. And back to back. That was nominated for a Grammy. It did not win, but it got nominated. And it fizzled out real, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say fizzled out real well. It had its moment. It had its moment. But everybody probably did. I mean, people, I don't know. I knew Kendrick is capable of it. Hell, when I heard Section 80 and then I heard Good Kid, Mad City, I was like, this dude is capable of anything.
Yeah.
Like, any kind of music he makes, it's gonna shoot off. It's like he's I ain't gonna say black. He's hip hop's Michael Jackson. And everybody who wanna fight me on this, they can. I don't care what you say.
I can see that.
You know what I'm saying?
See that.
Because you know what I'm saying? Just real talk. When Kendrick drops, the whole world is like, well,
you're not lying.
The whole I would say United States. You know what I'm saying? Even Canada. Huh? Right? I heard her. Go back to what I'm saying. Okay? When Kendrick drops, everything stops.
It does.
It's like, and I've heard it on several radio shows. They talk about, did you hear that new Kendrick? Yeah, no, the one he dropped 12 minutes ago. People didn't even get off the elevator. It was like, hold on, let me stay on this elevator and listen to this real quick.
Yeah.
People stayed in park.
Right.
Did not drive off. So he has that much power. And the reason why is because he gives you quality
versus quantity.
Mm-hmm. And when you have you don't go to Ruth Chris every day. You don't go to Eddie V's every day. Y'all know where those places are?
I know Ruth Chris. I don't know the other spot.
Eddie V's is a high-end steakhouse. It's like 2 steps above Ruth Chris. Ooh. It's 1 step above Fogo de Chao.
I know Fogo de Chao.
Yeah, so you don't go there every time, but when you go there, it's not a meal; it's an experience.
Good point. And that
and gives you the experience. Because here's the thing: not only did he drop that video on the 4th of July, he dropped the video. And he had all white at the last scene of it. There was an all white party that a certain Canadian rapper was at. And when the video came out, people at that party was like, Kendrick dropped the video to not like us. Ooh. And he's waving, saying bye in all white. And then everybody at the all white party is looking at him.
That's funny.
And guess what? The Canadian actor / rapper, he saw it too.
Hey.
So in the same breath, what I'm saying is this: Kendrick, he understands his audience. And he understands that he has he speaks. Everybody listen. He knows this. That's the reason why I say he's like Michael Jackson. When Michael Jackson was alive and he did performances, you would not see him all the time because he knew what type of power he had over people's eyes, and he knew he looked like this. Half of the audience,
well, part of the allure too is the fact that he wasn't so accessible. Michael Jackson and Kendrick. I remember there was a quote Drake said one time. It was a few years ago. He was like, "Man, I wish I could be like Kendrick and disappear for a few years and then just come back and drop an album when everyone buys it." I forgot what interview it was, but even Drake said that. He was like, "I can't just disappear like Kendrick. I have to stay out there."
Right.
Kendrick just he puts out good quality music, man, and I mean. He has the track record too. You got to come back and tell us how many Grammy nominations Kendrick had, because he's always, every time he drops, he's always.
He said, "Say less." Look at Corey's face. He said, "Say less."
You know, I'm on the thing we call Google.
Because he got the what was it the Pulitzer Prize?
Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah. I mean, for a rapper to win that just speaks to his writing ability and writing skill, right? Because they're not giving that to just everybody.
No.
You know what I mean? So definitely shout out to him. Let me see. We got a couple. While you looking that up, back on the other topic we was talking about, people that's locked up. Creative Native said our taxes paid for their 3 meals a day with AC and heating. We need something back. I mean, ain't they get AC and heating too? 3 meals, 3 squares, right? Man, that's that.
I think it depends on where you're at, because we have somebody that we know that's locked up here in prison in Texas, and I remember him. Yeah, I remember him telling me there's like a special app called Securus Mobile, so he actually can send us messages because it takes forever to get mail from that place. And so I think they probably put it through some sort of automated system before it comes to us. So something reads it, and if it flags anything, it sends it back. But he sends us stuff through this app. And so I read his messages. And I remember at one point during the summer, he was asking me to pray for him because it was so hot in there. Their AC hadn't been working for a long time. So it was,
oh, wow.
He said he just living sweaty and stuff, and like, yeah, man, I hope they get that fixed.
I'll tell you what, man, that's why I stayed on the straight and narrow. I never wanted to be stuck anywhere with a bunch of sweaty dudes. Just doesn't sound like it's not my type of party. I have to say it. No Diddy. Hey,
no Diddy. No doubt.
What we got? Where we at? How many Grammy nominations does he have?
Grammy nominations. I didn't pull that up because I typed in how many Grammys he won.
Okay, well, how many Grammys he won?
17.
7. Ooh, wait.
And you want to hear something funny?
What's up?
You want to hear something funny? His first album dropped the same day as your first album dropped, Geronimo.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was.
And I was like, G-Mo, man, what y'all talking about? Kendrick who? Kendrick what? And then I heard, what was it? Man down, where you from? I was like, let me pause the G-Mo real quick. What? And I started listening.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that because I got a Skype call. Hey, why would you release an album the same week as Kendrick? Like, dude, I'm in Korea. You were supposed to tell me not to drop the same week as Kendrick. Like that. I mean, but I still did okay. I mean, for someone that didn't have a budget or a label and it was all self-funded on the E5 budget, Bobby, I did okay.
That's a rough budget, man.
Damn good album.
I had to break it down. I did okay. Probably could have did better if I didn't drop the same week as Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, Staff Sergeant Moreno out there was getting.
Didn't say E5 budgets, okay? Yeah. Hey, but shout out to Kendrick, shout out to Beyonce. Yeah. Let's move to the next topic, man. Next topic. After last week's episode, we stayed on for a long time talking because at the end of the day, a guest, and I'm not gonna say no names, had dropped the N-word. And we try not to be that type of podcast. You could go somewhere else, but if you was trying to get super ratchet, that ain't us. But anyway, that actually sparked the conversation about the power of the N-word. Yes. And I'll open it up there because this is it's there, right? And I want Corey to get us started on that, if you don't mind, sir. As far as talking about the power of the N-word, brother.
Yeah, I feel a certain type of way when another Canadian rapper uses that word too.
Damn it.
But anyway, the N-word. I used to have an acronym: Never Ignorant, Getting Goals Accomplished.
Ooh.
To find out, Tupac had put out an album that had that song on there: Never Ignorant, Getting Goals Accomplished. However, we just gonna say it. Nigga is not a good word for us to be using in terms of period. I mean, here's the thing. I use it endearment, and I don't use it around my kids because of the fact that I don't want them to be able to say, "Oh, well, my daddy says that I can say."
They are parrots,
because they will repeat it. And the worst person you want to say, they at church after Sunday school with their homeboy. What's up, my nigga? What?
Ooh.
What? They go like, Brother Alvarez. Yeah. He's like, we heard your son use the N-word. Oh, my bad. But no, in a real, I get why people say that I can say it and you can't. But as a grown man, as a faith believer, and as a person who wants to practice who he preached, not just for me to say I'm good, but just because I want to leave a well example for my children at all times, I choose not to say that word. And I don't, and especially the hard R, I don't like
that's different.
Sound of it. That's cringe-worthy to me.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it has a lot of pain behind it, man. And I don't know if you want to share that story on some of the pain it caused you. Fortunately for me, I had never been called that, by anyone else outside of a term of endearment. I have been in places like Mississippi and called boy. Now, when someone calls you boy, that hits just as hard as the N-word with the hard R, if not harder.
Yes.
But when you outside of your comfort zone with no backup, you was like, okay, all right, I'm out. I'll turn around. Yeah, I'm out. Yeah. But
I pray your light don't turn on when you want to.
Nah, man, I'm there with you, man. I have a bad habit of using it too in my off time when I'm not in a professional environment. But I'm gonna tell you, I've been trying to get away from it, man, because there's a lot of pain. The history, I don't think we have to explain why it has the pain, right? But trying to get away from it is. We talked about Rich Homie Quan, right? He had a whole song with YG. That's the name of the song, My Hitter. Yeah, it's just so good. Because when that song come on, I'm saying it. I'm sorry, it's bad. I'm a hypocrite because I'm like, I need to stop saying it. But if I'm somewhere and that come on, it's gonna don't.
Well, Bobby, how do you feel about the N-word? Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Look, I see the eyes.
I think that is a very derogatory term. I do not think anybody of any shade of brown should be used. I consider myself in the brown area because I know we use the colors white and black. However, when you look at the color white and black, none of us are white or black. We're all just different shades of brown. That's why I'm saying that. Nobody should be using that word. If it was meant to hold people down, let's stop using it to continue to keep each other down, I would say.
I can see that.
I think that it's a cultural thing because I've watched videos of like black people in the UK, not in Ukraine, in the United Kingdom, in England, and they are very gentlemanlike. They are very proper whenever they speak. And I'm almost positive I've never seen anything where I hear them use that term. And so I wonder, is this just something in the United States that's being used, or is this something globally?
It's global because I could tell you, man, I got a lot of friends from Cameroon. And actually I had my last time in Korea, I had a lot of friends from Cameroon and Nigeria, and we came to a consensus. We're not much different, and we both were like, hey, you might, you know what I mean? Like, and they were saying it too. So I don't think it's specific to the US, but and maybe that pain is specific to us because of where it came from. It's a tough one. I know we shouldn't, but it's hard to stop.
Now I'll tell you about the thing about the word boy. I used to work with somebody, a big old black dude from Mississippi, I think too. And I said something to him one day. I was like, "Yo, what up, my boy?" Or I said something, "Yeah, boy," like something not necessarily towards him, but he got extremely offended. And he came and had told me like, "Boy means something different." I'm like, well, here in a Hispanic and Latino community, I'm not seeing it the way that he was seeing it. And I told him, well, I'm not meaning it in a derogatory way. He goes, I know. I get where you're coming from. But when I said it, I remember somebody else going like, oh, and I was like, what'd I say? Right. I didn't know. And then when you had mentioned it, you know what I mean? I had to end up telling him, I was like, I don't mean anything like that. Like, you're my brother, just like anybody else would be. I said, I would never ever do nothing to try to disrespect you or nothing like that. And he's like, oh, I know, just not in our culture, but he said specifically like in Mississippi and those rural southern areas that it's used in a derogatory, almost like saying
I'd never heard it like that before till I was
not something I knew until that day, because I never heard that.
Yeah, I was like, as soon as I heard it, I'm like, yeah, I'm in the wrong place. So I'll turn around and I'll go down. And you see the black side of Biloxi that way. Okay, I'll just go down the street.
Yeah, I mean, it's
what's that? Where Keesler is?
Yep.
The bad part about that is it's like with the N-word, as long as it's been around, it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
it's not. And then some people, they, especially this younger generation.
They all saying it.
Yeah, they're. And I think the reason why, because they don't look at it from the suffering. I think they need to go see Roots. They need to see Roots, the unedited version, the Alex Riley version, the one where the hard R is in there. And then they probably need to see a couple other things, because of the fact that word, and I'm talking about the hard R, even though it transitioned to the A, because when the hard R can be very triggering, right?
Yeah, 100%.
People lost their jobs for saying it.
I hear it and I get offended if I hear somebody else call that. I'm like, excuse me, what the hell did you just say?
But then here's the thing: they also use it into, oh, there go the baby. Yeah.
She said, "Daddy, let me close the door for you, so people don't bother us."
Lock the door,
So, but you know what I'm saying? When they say that, and then they say that word hard R lover, then that's like it's even painful. So I say that to say all this. Just watch it. I mean, if you're not gonna stop saying it, just watch it, because there's been several people who've lost their job because somebody said it and they were very using it derogatory, and they just said, oh, this person, he works for the post office and he has a uniform on. Let me go ahead and find out what post office he works at, and sends that information, or go on their LinkedIn and find out this person is using it derogatory to downplay other people. Boom, they lose their job. Like, there's literally a page on Instagram for people trying to find out whoever did anything harsh or harmful, so they can find the person who did it, look them up on LinkedIn or in some other database, just to find their name, so they can report it to their company, and their company just go ahead, okay, well, cancel.
Were y'all following the whole stuff that happened with like Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is that the squirrel that the people, I think somebody got raided and they killed the squirrel?
Yeah, and they chopped the head off the raccoon. To like a lady from Texas called in a complaint against these people. They had rescued these animals because they were like babies, and they had raised them. They were their pets and stuff. They were like a dog or a cat and stuff. And Peanut the squirrel had his own Instagram page. Hundreds, thousands of followers.
I think I've seen some of his videos when he's like singing and stuff on the mic.
It's cute. They have him wearing like little hats
Man.
and stuff, and they take really good care of him and everything
Yeah.
of their animals. And some dumb lady from Texas, boy, man, it did not take long. It did not take long for not just the internet to blow up, for them to find who the person was and blasted her ass all over Instagram and Facebook. She ended up getting rid of all of her social media. I bet she got so much hate. This just goes to show you, man. Keep your nose where it belongs, not other people's business.
Keep your nose where it belongs. Now back to what you were talking about, because I think you were saying, or it may not go anywhere, and I think it won't. I would hope the hateful version of it will. I mean, I would settle for at least that going somewhere, but the right? I don't think it's going anywhere, man.
That ain't going nowhere.
It's so ingrained in hip hop culture, man.
They made it so cool to say that. I'm like,
yeah.
But I will say this: language.
I think you're not lying about the the hard R, being traumatizing, but I think for our community, we need to learn how to let that go. Because if we continue to let it trigger us, we may put ourselves in trouble. Going back to the 13th Amendment, you don't want to be put in servitude because you committed a crime, right? And that's my take on it. Was because, is it painful? Yes, but at the end of the day, it's just a word. If someone isn't coming at you, putting their hands on you or nothing like that, let it go. Let it go, man. Like it ain't
worth the jail sentence. It ain't worth it.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
And to the people like us, it's not. However, you can't say that to somebody who's probably in constant therapy, because they probably have experienced that most of their adult life, and they came from an area where it was traumatically, and they're working through it. You know what I'm saying? They can be working through it. But if somebody just up and call you a NIGG hard R, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's like that is like a give me 10 seconds, let me calm down, let me walk around.
Yeah, find whatever you need to do, because I don't want you going to jail, man. We don't want you going us in jail.
The goal is to stay free. My goal for these next 4 years is to stay free. Okay.
The goal for the rest of my life is to stay free.
No, I'm gonna stay free, but I'm talking about to do anything and everything I can to be at peace with.
At the end of the day, you can't control what people tell you, but you can control how you react to what they tell you.
Exactly. And that's why I say that, like, breathe. We need a sponsor from all these, from these therapy people, because they real talk. I truly believe that we need to have a conversation with a therapist. I mean, we got Sarah, and maybe Sarah can come on and talk about how traumatic the times we are in. Because just think about it. The last 4 years, we dealt with a pandemic. We dealt with civil unrest. We dealt with, you know what I'm saying, vaccinations. We dealt with several other things, you know what I'm saying, interest rates, dropping interest rates, food recalls. You know how many food recalls? Man, I looked at my receipt the other day. I had a long receipt full of recalls of food, and I'm like, okay, so I know I know I'm not the average person. So some people probably get their receipt and be like, whatever. My kids need to eat. They hungry. It's a lot, and we need to heal.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do
heal, because 4 years, we just can't go back to normal after 4 years of being isolated, scared to go around people. Somebody cough, everybody turns their head. You feel what I'm saying?
It's funny. I was somewhere today and someone coughed, and I was like,
right,
why you outside? You know what I mean? Like,
right. You know what I'm saying? We need to heal. We need to heal. And
yeah, we do.
Nation, I think we need to be able to sit down on somebody's couch and somebody asks you what's the matter and not say nothing. I'm fine. That is not you are not fine. The only thing about it, you've been battling these last 4 years of survival, because let's just face it, over 1 million Americans lost their lives through COVID. You know what I'm saying? Either COVID or the acts of it, or the delays of being helped because of hospitals and COVID and things of that nature.
Or their immune system being weakened by COVID and they got something else.
Right. I've lost 14 people, probably 15 people within a time of 4 years. The first 2 years of COVID. First 2 years of it. You know what I'm saying? So I can imagine I'm not the only one who's dealing with it.
Yeah.
And then you add extra pressures on not just political, but financial and medical and things. And, you know what I'm saying? People going back to the workforce like we were supposed to talk, like, you know what I'm saying? Coming back into a job place, but you got to look over your shoulder, like you said, somebody sneezing in a closed area. Like,
I think we all doing. I mean, I know I'm guilty of it. I need to work on that. But to close that up, man, I think the way we deal with it, hopefully the hate behind that goes away. Let's get rid of the hard R. I don't think we ever get rid of the right? It's gonna be said, but because I don't think we just eliminate hate like that, right? Some people want to perpetuate that hate, so I would just encourage people that have that trauma, that need that extra help, so they don't put hands on someone when it's directed to them. Go get that help, man, because it is, what did it say, crimes of passion? I don't know if that holds up and will keep you out of jail if there's a crime of passion because someone calls you the hard R, you put hands on them and then they press charges. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that. So to go get the help and take care of that pain. But you bring up a good point as far as like going back to work, man. What we got to talk about with people going back to work coming out of COVID, man?
All right, so returning back to the office and office policies.
Yeah, matter of fact, I think there was an article from Starbucks a couple of weeks ago, man. They issued a notice to corporate employees to come back to the office, or you can get liberated back to the workforce, i.e. you're fired. You can be liberated, baby. Freedom. You know what? Stay home. Don't even come in. We'll just hire someone else. Right. This has been a phenomenon, man. Like you were saying, man, we're coming out of COVID to where we all had to quarantine. People got comfortable. They didn't want to come back, man, for several different reasons. This has been an interesting thing I've been tracking since we went on quarantine, right? And from my vantage point, what I've seen, it was kind of like a Mexican standoff, right? Companies were like, come back to work. The workforce like, we're not coming back to work. And then the company's like, come back to work. And it's just been a standstill, right? But I think when we first came out of COVID, the workforce had the leverage and advantage, right? So the companies were kind of folding and they were compromising, right? But I think the workforce and talent force is starting to repair itself to where the companies like Starbucks is like, come back or you're fired, straight up. You don't want to do it, someone else will. Straight up.
Starbucks is a good job. It's a good job. You know what I'm saying?
And corporate too. And again, these are the corporate employees. Because I mean, I don't think you can work from home as just a barista unless you're doing something weird.
Unless you got to drive through up the window and say, look, I got these K cup Starbucks pods.
But I think Bobby, you kind of had a perspective on it. Share that, because we've had some conversations about that whole hey, come to work policy. You had some thoughts about that.
Yeah, I did. I think one thing that COVID showed us was that we were still able to get the job done. Mission still got accomplished, but people weren't coming into the office, at least in the DoD sector. I cannot speak for any other sector, only for my own. And so in the DoD sector, we were able to see versus coming into the office, everybody had their laptops with them. We would just VPN onto a server in different air bases around the US, VPN in on that server, and hey, brought up our whole work screen, all of our documents there, all of the databases that we need, everything was there. So nothing changed. Right. And then I was telling Geronimo that, one of the things that people do when they work from home, they take on the brunt of the electricity bill, the water bill. The companies don't have to keep offices open or maintained. So I would think as an employee that this is saving the employer money. They don't have to have, as big as an office space. If they wanted to do a flex schedule, half people work from home one day and half people work the next, and half, you know what I mean? And then end up having to save money on electricity and water bill, whatever that looks like, whatever that overhead looks like. And most employees like myself, I'm okay with taking on the brunt of that because I just saved a whole bunch of money in gas to not have to drive to that office anymore. I'm okay with having extra electricity and water flushing. I like using my bidet. I like my own toilet.
Okay, I need to put that on my list.
I like using my own stuff.
Hey.
Hey, that's a whole other topic. Listen, you ain't got one of those.
You're talking about some hygiene. I like that,
man.
A good point. Thank you for sharing that, right? Because often what she just said as an employee, right? I think there's always not. I think there are always two sides of the coin, right? You got what the employees feel, but then I also look at what that owner president feels, right? Like she said, right, where as an employee, I feel like they're saving money here and saving money there. But I think a lot of things people don't think about is, say, when the company leases a building, they don't get short-term leases. They get a 3-year, 5-year lease, right? So no matter what, they have to pay that lease, right? Yeah. So, I mean, just real talk. If I'm paying for it, I want to use it. Yeah. I ain't paying the lease, right? I ain't paying you. I need you to come into this building. I'm locked in. I have to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? And I think it really just comes down to just simple, I need to get what I'm paying for. And I don't think a lot of employees that, people that just have that employee mindset are considering that, right? Because that president has to answer to a board or even investors, right? Because the investors and the board are like, hey, how come where our money is going on these buildings, but ain't nobody in it? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? The president has to answer to that.
No, real talk.
I think that kind of goes. Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, I think.
Ladies first.
How'd he go?
Some of that goes back to communication and setting the standard for what it's supposed to look like in the future. Say, hey, employees, we understand you enjoyed these work from home, kind of like what we did at, Platform One. There was a flex time. I had to be in the office two days out of the 5-day work week so that you do get used to the leave. So of course, I see it from that business owner perspective. You want to make use of the area that you leased. Absolutely. I think that goes to back to communication for the employees and setting that standard. Say, hey, we might be working from home right now because of this, but understand that this is going to go away in possibly this time frame. So get ready. When it comes and you don't like it, let me know so that I can begin making the accommodations to replace you if you truly are going to fight me on it, because I don't have the time and you don't have the time either. So.
And that's very nice and generous. Or come to work because I pay you, or I'll find someone else who will like
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I knew people who were fighting to stay home, and I'm like, dog, if you don't want your job, like, just say it. Somebody else is gonna do it. Like, you knew this was gonna happen. You knew it was gonna go away. We just didn't know when.
Yeah.
Because I'm be honest with you.
Being an adult.
When before I left my company and started my own business, I worked from home and I really liked it. But I also loved going into the office, you know what I'm saying, because of the fact that, one, this was pre the pandemic and pre fear pressed upon us saying we're gonna die if somebody sneezed on us. I used to love getting into that office because one thing, like I said, I would get my kids to school early, or if my wife taking them to school, I would get to work early. They had coffee, free coffee. I would get my brew and I would connect my laptop to like 3 different screens, and I'm like working. I'm like getting my day ready. So as soon as 9 o'clock come, I'm making calls. I love that because I was really enjoying working in that environment of being outside of a space. And from a person who worked inside of a retail store, which I like people, but then when I got sat down and I had my own cubicle and I was able to put my pictures of my family up there to keep me motivated, and then I started winning awards, so then a corner of my desk had all my awards over there, so I see my family and my awards, and then I get to go say what's up to the people in the office. You know what I'm saying? I even, towards the end, I even had a buddy, we started a prayer circle. I was like, it was beautiful because you had that human interaction. Yeah. I'm not an introvert. I'm an outrovert. You know what I'm saying? So I talk to people all the time. Strangers, I'd be like, hey, what's your day? How do you feel about your life? You know what I'm saying? What's going on in the world? You get that. And that helps you grow because you start to see other people, how you get to use some of the things that they have in their life, as far as like, especially when they're in sales. Like if I hear somebody using a sales pitch, I'm like, oh, let me put some Corey on that. Let me put a little Corey on that. And it worked.
What you just laid out, that's another thing that company leaders are looking at too, is that collaboration. I think a lot of people undervalue collaboration. Now, the number one argument that'll come to me right now, well, I could collaborate through Teams or Zoom or all these other.
It's not the same, though.
It is not the same. It is not the same because if let's say I'm working remote and I need to collab with a team member, somewhere else, right? And I need to bounce an idea off of you. I could shoot you a message, boom. I don't know if you're available. I might not get a response an hour, 2 hours later, but I needed something right now. You might respond to me 2 hours later and I lost it. Like, and that collaboration I needed could have been the thing that moved this project to the next level. You know what I mean? And that's another thing company leaders, I know for sure 100%, because when I was on the corporate team, we talked about that a lot. We were trying to figure out ways to really inspire collaboration and hone in and harness that, because that's what really takes companies to the next level. And for employees, you help companies get to the next level, you can go ask for a raise, dogs. I know you want that check, man.
Or they might just give you one. They might just say, you know what, you've been kicking these last couple quarters, let me go ahead and see, you know, there's this new position coming up, I think, you know what I'm saying, go. Or they can be like,
so what's your thoughts? What should people keep fighting it, or what y'all think? Well, what should be the expectation for people moving forward with these return to work policies or return to office policies?
I'll let Bobby go first.
I think they are a good thing, although it would be nice if there was some like work flexibility with that. Maybe, 1 or 2 days still work from home, still getting the job done and stuff. So I can see companies still allowing that, not flex time. What do they call it?
Hybrid.
No. There's a name for it that they use. It's like a positive. It's like man, I feel stupid right now.
Nah,
it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Maybe it'll come back. Corey, what you think? You think? How should people treat this, or what should the expectations be moving forward with these return to office policies?
Well, I'm gonna give you. It came by
Bobby.
Yes, it was. It's called work-life balance.
Work-life balance. Yeah.
Work-life balance. Offering work-life balance to me, as somebody who is I'm almost always open to seeing other opportunities and stuff. I want to know what you're offering work-life balance wise, because if something happens and my kid is sick home, and am I going to be forced to take PTO, or are you going to allow me the flexibility to work from home while I'm checking on my daughter, every hour or so? You know what I mean? Do I have that work-life balance, or am I forced to use PTO?
Right.
I heard what you're saying. I think a lot of people are thinking like that too, or they want that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's not that I don't want to be in the office, but what are you offering as far as that work-life balance? Where's that happy medium? So.
Right.
Yeah. Good point. Looking for that win-win.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. What are you gonna say, Corey?
It's almost like you just don't go in full force, right? You gotta work your way in there. You find a smooth spot, and then you continue to go, and then now you're embraced in. So you don't go in straight, like you said. I will start off with a hybrid. But if you go, make it an incentive. If you go in all 5 days, okay, there's a limited bonus for the first 2 months that we're going back to work. So you get an additional, and then after the bonus is up, everybody return back to work. And if you don't return back to work, return your laptop.
There you go.
Turn in your key card. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because of the fact that it gives them enough time to realize, do I really want to be here? Because they may not want to, some people may want to look for a different career path.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? They may find them a remote job where they can do at work at home. probably make not they ain't gonna make the same amount of money as Starbucks, but they may make some money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they can be able to have their work-life balance, because I realized that by me working from home, I realized that I can be an entrepreneur. That's what triggered everything.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, I can still do this, but for me.
Yeah.
And I'm good at what I do. Only thing is, I mean, I wasn't getting any discounts off no light, no energy. I had to use my own internet. I had to use everything. Only thing I didn't use, and I used my own cell phone. Only thing I didn't use was their laptop. I learned how to use.
If you itemize your taxes, you can absolutely write that off.
Oh, I did.
Oh,
because my tax guy, before he passed away, he did my taxes.
Oh, closer to tax time, I'll give some good tips, because I've been doing my own taxes now for like the last maybe 16 years of my life. I do my own taxes.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry?
We want them tips from Bobby. Tips about taxes from
tax advisor on. Ooh,
yeah.
I'm gonna hit him up.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. All right, so what you saying? Ease it in. Ease
it in. It's a first date, baby.
Yeah.
When I worked for the DoD contractor, and we came back after COVID, what they ended up doing, just like you said, ease it in. If you had a row of cubicles, they brought in everybody who would sit like every other cubicle, so you weren't next to each other, you were staggered.
Yeah.
If you're staggered from one another.
Yeah.
Y'all are very generous. But I think another thing you were leading on to, Corey, is or go be your own boss. Go do your own thing.
Be your own boss.
That's an option too. That is an option. I will say, having to be on the team trying to figure this out, that's a lot going on. It's a lot of moving parts. I like it easy. Hey man, you coming in, I'll find someone else that will.
Yeah.
My money, my choice, right? It's like single guys. When I've seen it on different memes, man, when like single moms are like, oh, you don't want to date me, and the single guy's like, my money, my choice. If the employer is the one paying, right? I'm not paying for your convenience. I'm paying for you to help my customers. You get what I'm saying? And if I have to do all this rigmarole just to get you in to help my customers, it's easier for me to just liberate you. Hey, you can stay home, go find yourself some more work-life balance. I'll find someone else who's excited to get this check, come in and help my customers.
And get it probably cheaper too.
Because then I could probably find someone that maybe entry level. Someone, there's always a new crop of graduates from college, right? That's looking for that entry level. As long as my SOPs and procedures and processes are on like up to par, I can train someone in and get them in real quick. Go ahead, you can stay home. And I'm gonna tell you, that's what a lot of company leaders are thinking, like, because again, they have to answer to the boards and they have to answer to investors. Investors, they want that quick answer. If I'm investing my money in your company and I need to see a return, I want to see a return quickly. I'm not trying to wait for you to figure that stuff out.
Don't show me the pain, show me the baby.
Yeah. So now, good conversation though, man, because I wanted to get the full perspectives out there. So that's a good one. I think there's still going to be some pain getting back into the pre-COVID era, right? Being back at work. So we got one more topic. Take us out with this last topic, Bobby.
Yeah. So, you ever seen those pictures of somebody called Rosie the Riveter? It's a woman with a red and white polka dot kind of like kerchief on her head, and she's got a muscle, and she's saying we can do it.
Let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, pull it up. Show our guests what this looks like. This is actually a wartime poster from World War II, because as we know, a lot of men were gone. They were out fighting World War II, so a lot of women were called in to be factory workers. They built out machine parts for engines, for different aviation. There we go. That's Rosie the Riveter. We can do it. So just recently, out of Los Angeles, a lady named Jennifer McMullen, she turned 100 years old, and she was considered a Rosie. She was one of the women who had stepped up during World War II. She worked for Lockheed Aircraft, and they were a predecessor to the aviation giant Lockheed Martin out of Burbank, California. There were about 5 million women around the U.S. who were recruited to become defense manufacturers. As men were away, women filled the jobs. So women came in with their muscles. Because there was a shortage of workers, so the Rosies were the name of women who were serving on these production lines, and they played a pivotal role in helping build out tanks, ships, planes, and all these military essential aircrafts and stuff for supporting our war effort. For our men in World War II, and so their impact, I think, on American society. Is entirely pivotal to how women, I think, are responding to filling out these manufacturing jobs in the future. I think it opened up a door for men and people in other corporations to be able to see that women were, in fact, not just capable of doing the job, but maintaining that job even when other men came home. And so I think it really opened up the door to see what the capability of these ladies were. So she turned 100 years old.
Happy birthday. Another rose. Hey, shout out to all the Rosies out there that was stepping up.
Yes.
Hell yeah. We got a comment too from Creative Native. He said they were also making ammunition. Yes. Very important when we're fighting wars, right?
Yes.
So you said she just turned 100?
Just turned 100 years old. So you can say, I guess, the women were the back home war machine. They were your support efforts. They were the back home war machine.
I like
making it happen and stuff. So, and that goes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier, where we want to see unity in a country being unified. If that doesn't speak unity, I don't know what does. Men fighting wars and the women's, being behind, being your support element, making sure you have what you need to be successful in your mission to come home. So
yeah, shout out to all the women that did that, man, because we couldn't have done it without them, right? So shout out to her. So yeah, man, that's it. That's episode 27, baby. We got through it and we respected the fourth host. Let's take this thing out, starting with you, Bobby. Tell them what they can get from you if they're in the San Antonio area and how they can get in contact with you.
That's right. If you're in the San Antonio area and you need some water mitigation services, you got busted pipes, give me a call. Hit me up, bobby.lopez.5 on Instagram. You can see me, Bobby Lopez, at Facebook. Don't try to come at me on TikTok because I don't have that account. Come and talk to me. You got some major issues. Come and talk to me. We'll get you hooked up. We'll get you squared away and get you into what you need to get your home in repair. So.
Nice, Corey.
Hey, this your main man with
contact with you.
For sure, it's the main man with the game plan, Corey Giovanni. Check it out by the end of the year. Since it's the end of the year, Corey ENT is doing something very special. For your marketing video campaigns, for 3 minutes or less, we doing $300 videos. If you are an artist and you want a video shoot and you're in the Los Angeles area, we're doing $300 video shoots, 2 cameras, 2 hours, and 2-day return. And if you need that merch, we got you, because we got the funded campaign going on right now. Plus, we will have our Technically Speaking merch coming to you sooner than a hiccup, or quicker than a hiccup. It's your main man with the game plan, Corey Giovanni. And I'm going to toss it back to this guy.
Oh, yeah. See, right now, I'm just looking for folks that want their voices heard. So if you want to be a guest on the show, holler at me at tech_von_go at all platforms except for TikTok, because I don't do TikTok, dog. They using it against us. But other than that, thank y'all for showing us that love.
One question.
What's
I
up?
think Geronimo, it has some available property units, or maybe if he's looking to go ahead and if you're in the San Antonio area, right?
You know what? You're right. Good point. If you are looking to rent an apartment in the high class area of Almost Park, holler at me. I do have a unit for rent. Get at me, and y'all have a good night. Thank you, Corey. I like how you did that right there.
So everybody needs a home.
Corey, good looking out.
And one more shout out to all the veterans who served this country.
Shout out to all the veterans. That's right. Yeah. Happy Veterans Day.
All right.
Yes.